working with horses, which was all problem horses and all stallions, and I got a reputation. So I was quite tough, quite hard, but I think the real connection to horses was really fascinating to me as a connection to my better self, and a love for the horse turned into a self-discovery that was a love affair. And as I've developed to these days, I think that, you know, riding horses, working with horses is where language stops and feelings begin. And it's a privilege to ride and a privilege to share a harmonious relationship with them. And so, hence we dance. You like that? Huh? You like that? Well, I think I started as a kid watching a neighbour ride a horse past our property, and playing cowboys and Indians in the backyard was how it started. And my parents then took me to a riding school in Australia, so I started riding as a kid, and not really sure the attraction, just a magnetic connection, I think, that I found, that I had with animals and horses. My parents certainly didn't have anything to do with horses, so it was a bit of a unique scenario. I grew up, I bought a horse and when I was 14 and rode, not very well, and showing was a bit ordinary, and Australia was a bit small in the world of equestrian. So I worked hard, and then I went to school, college, and did a Bachelor of Science in Equestrian Studies, and worked with breeding horses and race horses, and continued to do that. I bought a second horse that was a little more easy to show. However, it was a horse that I couldn't get on, or I couldn't get off. Really good to ride. It was a race horse that was very nervous with people getting on and off as the jockeys get thrown on. So I worked those problems out, and the guy that I rode with, he told me that I was very good with animals and not a good rider. So he advised me to work with horses but not riding. I worked with thoroughbred studs and breeding things, and then I traveled around the world and came to America and had a job breaking horses and starting horses and all of those exciting things. And again, I was very successful with young horses and stallions, breeding stallions. We went to Mexico and rode with a guy that told me he would teach me to ride if I did all the young horses and the problem horses for them. And I did that quite successfully. As I learnt to ride, I ended up traveling around the world. She doesn't usually come out so stiff. You need to behave. And so basically from my younger years, from probably 8 years old to about 15 years old, if I didn't fall off every week, I'd throw myself off. That was kind of a different concept to riding. I remember I rode everything, different height, different sizes, different breeds. Yeah, I just keep thinking about how much of a privilege it is to explore your own body and your own mind whilst being with a horse. All ages and sizes and things are quite fascinating. I do feel strongly about the sense of freedom on a horse, having them find a sense of their own freedom, and the rider finding a sense of their own freedom is what it's basically all about. The ability to use their body at their peak, and the rider's ability to use their body at a peak. And that's what I really like with dressage, is it's a very challenging sport and very difficult, very technical, and you know, the rider is as much the athlete as the horse. Timing and effectiveness is what is key to successful riding. We can always ride better. We can always be fitter, stronger, faster, and hold our own sense of balance and harmony with the horse, which is what I think it's about. There's a look in a horse's eye that has such genuine sincerity, inquisitiveness, kindness. And in a human environment, they're at the beck and call of humans. Not sure how humans would feel in the reverse. So, always an interesting world to live with horses.